You're number one. Yeah, that's yours right
All
there.
right.
Put on your headphones. Not those. Oh yeah, you can put those.
Where's the monitor?
Actually,
This
can you
thing?
give me those? Those are actually not supposed to be here.
All right.
Um, and we do have a no alcohol policy.
All right. Well, I'll leave it unopened for the
Okay.
time being.
And there's the headphones.
All right. Has the alcohol thing always been a rule, or
No, that's a new rule because we don't want to get a fine for people.
Oh, you don't have an alcohol license?
No, not at all.
All right.
Yeah. If you drink alcohol, it has to be in a container that's not recognizable
All right.
as alcohol.
Tim Hansen, if you're listening out there, bring me a coffee cup out of my car that I can enjoy my brew in a non-alcohol event. So can't have the beer. I'll put that down. You might have been watching me for the last few minutes. I didn't have my microphone on. I'm covering the Economy Superstar Radio Hour, X-Temper Radio, whatever this program is. Mr. Hansen is late, fashionably late. It's one of his character traits. If we all know him well, we would expect him to be on his way at any given moment until the time he's here. Even if that's still looking at emails at the computer before getting out the door. So I'm doing work and making money. At least I think I am, and I hope it will be money. But the work part, for sure, is definite. I kind of snuck out of my house to be here at this hour because this is the 1 hour of the day that I'm not working until I have to go meet with the boss man an hour from now. That's why I have the beer with me that I can't drink. Right now, between Mr. Hansen and I, we are doing a property maintenance slash investment property slash tenant rental situation slash property improvement, neighborhood resurrection, build River West, what have you. I'm the guy doing the work in the place because I'm going to be living there. It's 2 houses down from where I live. The way I see it, I'm not moving away from where I'm at, but extending my range, if you will. And right now I'm being compounded by trying to get the work done over there and being busy working to not have time to go there because I'm either A, putting down floors for free, or B, making $150 a day. And right now, I think $150 a day is worth the money, even if it's going to put me homeless by the end of the month because I have to be out of where I am. But homeless isn't so bad if you got a job. I used to be homeless with the job when I worked at U-Haul, and I lived in a camper in the parking lot. I'd alternate between the U-Haul parking lot and the Walmart parking lot. For a time, I lived in a garage in this camper, but I was about 2 months, 2.5 months homeless in a camper while I had a job. And here comes Mr. Hansen. Welcome, Mr. Hansen. Let me turn your microphone on. Yeah, we're on the air.
All right, cool.
All right, you're on mic 2. Mic 2?
All right, mic 2.
Yeah, I hear you pretty good.
All right, great.
I was
Good.
going to tell you if you were listening on the way in to fetch a coffee cup out of my car because we can't have alcohol here because they don't have a liquor license. Unless you had it in an undistinguishable container that's not obviously alcohol.
Oh, that's new. When
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Well, it's probably they acknowledge the fact that there's alcohol sitting here in a window when people are drinking it and they don't have a liquor license, so they're taking precaution in that regard, I would presume.
Oh, okay. One of them things. I can run out to the car and grab that. Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you can talk on the microphone, I'll go get it. But you're not live yet. Well, you are live, but you're not
No.
you're not doing your show at this second. I am.
Yeah, you go right ahead. You keep talking. Let me just set up Justin TV and I'll run out and grab that.
All right. So, what's the website address for Justin TV again?
Justin.tv/economy superstar. It should be.
Justin.tv/economy superstar, as well as River West Radio Is it a com or a net or an org?
.com, riverwestradio.com.
riverwestradio.com live stream here with the webcam and my happy mug in front of the camera for all of you to see. Mr. Hansen is now going live on justin.tv/economy superstar. You can see economysuperstar.com for, well, if you want to read something that's about 5 years old, but there's some music to listen to, and you will find links to Catch This Fox, the movie, documentary film featuring Miles Fox by T.W. Hansen. And from there, you will find links to one's Facebook page. I don't know if you have an Economy Superstar Facebook or a Twitter.
Just Twitter. It's just TW Hansen at that. So.
All right, follow on TW Hansen at Twitter, and like us on Facebook on either of our profiles. You could also visit YouTube for the Economy Superstar channel and the Miles Fox channel, and please share and like on your Facebooks and Twitters. That would be great because this is the internet, and that's where I am at right now. So
All right.
get it while it's there.
All right, that's good. I'll get you a cup for your.
All right, so Tim's going to leave me at the comm here. I'm going to continue talking to you guys. If you could tell me what you want to hear or listen to. Tim's going for a coffee cup, but he's going into the coffee shop next door when I told him to get the one out of the car because it's empty and I could put beer in it. Well, let's see what happens here. That's a dynamic here with Mr. Hansen and myself. Kind of a dynamic duo, if you want to make Batman references. As Desmond Jones, I will quote him, "A clash of egos, sometimes hilarious, but also a bit cringing to watch." Mr. Hansen has some bright ideas, and I have some bright ideas, but bright ideas at opposite ends of a spectrum. And since I've known Mr. Hansen, I've opened up to some of his ideas about building empire and realizing that you can do that by rounding your resources together to work for you. And also, my ideas of reckless abandon, but I wish that somewhere in the middle, those ideas could meet in the middle and really be a powerful thing between talents on the opposite end of a similar spectrum. So part of that is here with our internet presence. We're sitting at justin.tv/economy superstar, also riverwestradio.com. We got some domain names: Economy Superstar, Catch This Fox, Miles Fox, HaulandTruck.com. All of those with their Googles and Facebooks and Twitters. But who the hell doesn't have that anymore? If you don't have that, you're in the dark. No one has a landline anymore. Everyone's got.
Hey, where is your car?
The car's over there because I drove around the block 3 times to have someone parking in my spot by the time I got there. Yeah, so I'm rolling on the old flip phone. If you can call it a flip phone, it's just a dumb phone. No touch screen, no touchy. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't really get on the internet unless you use a SMS, which you might as well stop what you're doing and go find a computer because it would take longer to do it on a phone. So yeah, I'll get on my shtick here a little bit. So you see people walking around looking at their phones. But how many people do you see walking around with a television to their ear? If you thought that was funny, please document that on the internet so I can look at it when I get home. Thank you. Because we can do that these days. we got a world of technology that is so accommodating that people wouldn't acknowledge the technology because it's just there, but they wouldn't have thought of how it's there or why it's there or how it became to be there. And I think that's kind of amazing. I mean, you got a car that can park itself because people aren't going to have to know how to park a car. And I don't know what to think about that other than it's probably one of the most basic skills of living in the real world, along with looking both ways before crossing the street and feeding yourself with cooking utensils. Simple things are as such. Life is so simple and yet complicated at the same time, whatever compounds your situation. Mr. Hansen can probably go on about that in his regard. If you were listening 2 weeks ago about shoveling gravel and all that fun stuff. Well, Mr. Hansen is back with us here. We are here live, riverwestradio.com. If you're just listening, justin.tv/economy superstar.
Yeah.
Tim?
Yep.
Okay.
And back to you, Tim.
You're doing great. You're doing just fine. I have very little value to contribute, so
Why is that? This is your show.
I know.
I was
know.
just talking about like how valuable what that you could contribute is. What you can contribute is valuable
To who?
to me
That's
and
great.
to other people that we know that can make things happen.
Good. Good. Keep
Yeah.
things happening. That's important for things to continue to happen. Sure.
Yeah. You awake? You're a bit.
Sort of.
How you doing, Tim?
Been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've been to Arizona all day. Is the climate screwing with you? Because, like, if you move from one climate zone to another, sometimes it'll throw your allergies off or sinuses and whatnot.
No, maybe time zone a little, but even that's not too bad. Uh,
Thank you. So, this is the what show is this?
This has in the past been the Economy Superstar Radio Hour,
So
but you
this-
know you can Fox, you can have it. You can
Wow.
have this time. You can do whatever you want with this time.
Well, this time is hard to have. Like, I couldn't find this time last week just to be here an hour late. And then I guess I didn't miss anything because you weren't here either.
No, I thought you were going to be here last week.
Well, you were.
I was in Arizona.
Oh, I didn't find time to come last week. The week before.
Oh, a week before.
Yeah, so we haven't been here since the last time I was on. Is that right?
Okay. All right, crud. I thought. No, I was gonna have somebody cover for me Sunday. I didn't have that. I guess that slipped my
Is
mind
that
too.
this coming Sunday or last Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Oh, last Sunday don't matter no more. But what about this Sunday?
8 to 9. If you want that, you can have that too.
All right, and what show is that?
That doesn't have a name. That's up for a.
Was that the drama
I was
show?
gonna write original radio drama, and it's been 2 months, and I've not yet gotten around to writing a single
Maybe that's
piece
just the
of
kind of
original
thing.
radio
If
drama,
you
so-
just have a theme and a quick outline and just ad lib it, improv. The thing.
Interview shows are good. Just bring someone in to talk to. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's nice to just have a conversation.
I'd like to get Dustin Schmaus on the air with me, and then we can go back and forth with whatever. Schmaus is good with dramatical things, and also good with like I don't know. I had the idea of doing like a free flow hour, which it would be a rap, as if if you were
You should
talking
do that.
70s term, like
should
let's
do-
rap, but also like
Do it. You should do it. Bring in
Spit some free
the
flow.
keyboards and some stuff, and yeah, you should do that. That would be entertaining to watch.
I did find a keyboard, a Yamaha in apartment clean out I did the other day.
Oh yeah.
It's got MIDI ins and outs. It's about yay long,
Really,
about
yeah.
this deep. I think it's similar to the one you may have. It's kind of like a
sort of angular shaped.
really almost
shaped.
square. It's like shorter and like tilted up at like a
Tilted
slight
up at an
degree
angle.
with I think it's got the green.
Does
green
it
lettering on
does
it.
it have little drum pads below the keys?
No, it does not.
Okay, so that's probably like it might be like a 480, PSS 480. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's got MIDI on it,
Yeah.
and it's not anything like the one I have in the basement, like the really cheap looking one.
I'll take a look at it. But, no, I'm probably gonna wind up selling a lot of my stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
you in it for the money or in it for just not having so much stuff laying around?
6 of one, half dozen of the other. I mean, really, I could use some income happening here. I think that's a big part of.
Well, don't sell out of your
mood here.
things to come up with an income, because that's not really an income. That's cashing in on intrinsic value. An income is a steady stream of making money.
Yeah.
If you sell out your stuff, then you spend the money. Then
Yeah.
you are both out your stuff and out the money. So you're broke again, but you don't have anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I could just stand not to have.
Yeah, I guess if you got enough of it, but
Yeah.
don't give up your most valuable things. I made the mistake of selling out of a car, and then I had to do some bartering and wheeling and dealing to come back because I needed it. And the thing is, I sold it for rent. At the same time, I had the place and chance to do something with it, which kind of defeated the purpose of having it to begin with if I sold it.
Mm-hmm.
But, that kind of thing.
Yep. So, let's see. Where were we 2 weeks ago?
We were talking about shoveling gravel, and
Well, briefly, mostly you were trying to give me reasons to want to live. So,
well, yeah. If we were talking about if life was imposed upon you by somebody deciding to breed, and you were born and have a life to deal with, and I was saying that that's just a product of what happens. You're not imposed upon by being alive.
well, nobody asks to be born.
And that's how this world has existed for 4.5 years, and obviously things reproduce because it feels good to them, even if it's a paramecium splitting in half. Somehow it's driven to do that.
Yeah,
So
and good for the paramecium. I just and good for you. I just feel disinclined to participate lately.
is what, life cheap? Maybe can life be cheap? Is it?
Life is basically free. Life is one of the cheapest things that there is. Life is.
What about cheap, like disposable? Like it's cheap. It's like if it's broken, then throw it out.
I feel that way about mine. I don't know if you feel that way about yours. I don't think people should. I think most people don't, and I think that's generally a good thing.
Could you tell me that life is cheap?
Life is cheap.
Yet fabulous, Mr. Superstar.
That's what it says.
Set you up for that one. But yeah, it's cheap, but yet fabulous.
It's not
It's your own
fabulous lately. It's
Well,
really that's
lately, has it been fabulous? Or will it be fabulous?
maybe.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
well, what's cheap and fabulous? I mean, $500 cars on a Babe Rally, wasn't that fabulous? I mean, how many times you do that? 4?
That I regret that. Once was enough. Really, once was enough.
I
Once was maybe too much. It's
I know Thomas. I talked to him.
well, I
that's
mean,
there isn't exactly a richness of experience that I carry forward from that.
do you feel like you lost anything with it? If you didn't gain anything?
No, yeah, I mean,
I mean, a couple $500
like,
cars.
the couple of years that I actually managed to get the thing to pay for itself doing T-shirts, that was worth it. But
Yeah.
like to do it just to do it, I don't see the value of an experience like that. I don't.
What about, okay, if you wouldn't do it again based on what you have experienced, but you don't see any value in the experience that you've already had? I mean, you've got with the chick in the back of my camper, and I didn't even know till like a year later. Like, that's pretty impressive. I mean,
That's not that impressive.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
wasn't it great though? I mean,
it was
did you
fine.
not like it?
It was great, sure.
Well,
no
there, that's
problem.
an experience that you can.
But so what?
Why not? I mean, I like to revel on experiences. I like to think about experiences I've had and revel in them because it was great. And
What experiences have you had that have really been worthwhile? What's made your life worth living?
I don't know. I liked when I had done the whole traveling Subaru mechanic thing, driving back and forth from Ohio, putting people's head gaskets and four-wheel drive swaps together for cash money. After I'd gone to jail for getting arrested in Ohio from Indiana on a felony warrant because I drew on the walls in jail. That's ridiculous. That's an experience I can revel in. It wasn't the greatest experience, but the other part of the experiences I can revel in. But like, I think life's great because I could say that, like, yeah, I got arrested in Ohio for a felony warrant out of Indiana because I drew on the walls in jail when I was in there for driving while suspended. I mean, that's the compounding situation that people couldn't comprehend, and then you tell them about it. I don't know, maybe they think you're bullshitting or not, but it's like,
Oh,
that's a rich experience as far as
it's tragic.
things that it is tragic, but what's not tragic is I'm sitting here talking to you on this microphone and I'm not still sitting in fucking Indiana in a jail somewhere on a suspended license. So, that was, kind of a detrimental point, but at the same time, like, knowing how hard you can have this shit, like, you can do a hell of a lot more with what's afforded to you if you would acknowledge how great it is.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, like, I don't know, maybe you just need a change of pace or whatever. I've always been telling you that.
Yeah.
And a change of pace in one way or another. Like, I mean, how many changes of paces are happening now? There's enough going on to keep things interesting. Like, you just got to change pace with it. I don't know. Like, I've changed my pace a little bit in the sense that trying to eat 3 times a day and getting up early in the morning and trying to be more responsible because I feel like being more responsible out of the fact that I have more to be responsible for, versus when I felt no sense of responsibility because I didn't have anything. And I wouldn't have ever thought that I would want to be as responsible or what's the other thing? But you fall on your ass enough times or make enough mistakes, it gets tired of it. So you decide to do something different, and then the more you got going on for yourself, the more it makes you want to do more with it. Or you could not have anything and kind of not give a fuck. And if you sat around all day, didn't do anything, and didn't give a fuck, you'd never know what it's like to have something and do something with it. But to have something, I don't know. So it's what can you compare it to, maybe?
I can barely remember what it's like to really want to do things. I mean, anything.
What do you have you just done everything that you could think of doing, or is it just the thought of doing something doesn't appeal to you anymore? Or did you run out of things to do?
No, I haven't run out of things to do. There's still plenty of things that I have to do, and that I should do, and that I need to do, and that
What about the things
I
that
should
you
even
want
want
to
to
do?
do.
Yeah, so you
I
can't get
just
around to the things you
don't.
want to do.
Well, no, I don't want to do anything.
So that means doing what you want is to not do anything at this moment.
Right now, yeah, it's horrible. What it is I mean, it's it's horrible. Clinical depression is what it is. But
Well, what makes you so sad? If you're
sadness. It's just a lack of interest. I just don't feel like it's worth it to me somehow. Like it's not worth the effort.
what about going to Arizona and coming
That
back?
was
I mean,
a pretty good waste of $400.
I mean, it didn't like get you out of town for a minute.
They
to
got me
clear-
out of town. The weather was nice. It was, you know, it was sort of nice to, reconnect with,
Yeah.
my ex out there a little bit. But, in the space of 6 days, you get reminded of every reason why you fell in love with a person and every reason why it's basically completely hopeless as a relationship. And,
Yeah.
it's comprehensive.
Well,
and,
there's time.
she's less functional in life than I am. That's
well.
bad news. I feel like I'm like the baseline.
Well, maybe
for-
you need
for
more
human
variety,
conduct.
so you can know what your preferences are. You know, you can fall hard for something, but that doesn't mean you can't do it again. That doesn't mean something else will come along or won't come along that would even be better.
Oh, I know. I'm sure something better is out there, but whether or not I'm going to be worth their time, that remains to be seen.
You never know. But then if you're not doing anything, then I guess that will never grace upon you.
No,
that's-
and it's something I won't have to worry about then, is it? No.
Well, I mean, if it's something you have to worry about or not, but if it's something that happens on its own by itself, then why is there something to worry about it?
That's. I can't even remember what I'm supposed to do every day. It's just like everything seems like another opportunity for me to make a mistake. You
Like,
can't be afraid of making mistakes, but
kind of a
somehow I am.
What kind of mistake would you make in the run of every day? Like you're gonna go outside and make a mistake, and like, oh shit, I made a mistake. Like, that's too general to like. I get what you're saying, but like, you'd have to like give an example of that to convey what you mean.
Um.
Unless you're talking about like walking out into traffic without looking both ways before crossing the street. That's
Well,
a mistake.
no, doing nothing is about the biggest mistake you can make. But I just I don't trust myself to do anything correctly, so I do nothing.
Why do you not trust yourself to do anything correctly?
I've let myself down too many times.
Well, I mean, so
The prevailing attitude is one of profound disappointment. That is what I feel.
have you ever reattempted anything that you've done and made a mistake to do it again without making the mistake because you know what the mistake would be, or is it just something different every time and there's a mistake each time? Like,
No, I don't know. It's bad. It's unhealthy. It's indefensible. There's nothing I can say to defend anything going on in my brain. I know my brain is wrong. I don't like living with it.
yeah,
There's
well,
not a lot I can say in my defense.
I don't know. Maybe it's a confidence issue. I mean, if you're afraid of making a mistake, I mean, what?
Yeah, there's a lack of confidence here. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Confidence. You gotta have something. Bestow confidence in you. Instill confidence. And with that, experiences can make or break confidence. Good experiences can reinforce confidence. Bad experience could hinder confidence.
It's fairly abstract. That's um, I know the abstract is not necessarily your forte.
Well, what about? I mean, why do you feel like you would make a mistake if you tried something?
I don't have the energy or presence of mind to focus on what needs to be done.
Would you say you need some directive, or would you just say that like you just have no focus?
So I can barely remember how to do basic life things at this point, let alone anything specialized.
Why do you not remember how to do them?
I haven't done any of them in so long.
Life things such as what? Like going to the post office or going out to a club? Like,
Well, I don't go out to clubs, but
well, I mean, that's a broad spectrum. Like, what do you everyday things of what? That,
just like complex marketable skill sets.
so stuff that
Anything
you could
anything,
do as
anything
a
I've-
profession to make a living.
Yeah, or even things that I'm ostensibly supposed to be doing. Yeah, you know, in terms of filmmaking, I've completely forgotten how to craft a story. I've forgotten how to pay attention to a story. You know, like the whole like beginning and middle and end
Yeah.
thing. You know, the you know Jungian cycles, call to action, that sort of thing. I mean, like, I'm aware of the mechanics, but as far as actually seeing how one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing, and seeing like a plan or a purpose in any of that, it's just that's gone. I don't have the attention span for most TV shows, let alone movies. Um,
Well, is that out of a lack of exercising of those talents?
Yep, everything. You don't do anything for a long enough time, and eventually, even your most basic faculties will wither and atrophy, and that's where I am.
You know, I feel that way a little bit with myself as far as my artistic talents that I haven't like really. If you were to look at any drawings that I've made in the last 10 years, it would be the handful of the ones I did when I was in jail 10 years ago. I haven't really drawn anything. And you know, I took welding class and I haven't really had enough practice to be confident enough to go to a factory and hire on as a welder. I'd like, you know, I probably could do it, but that's the kind of thing that I don't feel confident enough to go in there and say, hey, I can weld, because I have, although I know how to weld, I haven't had enough practice for it. Or I haven't,
No,
you
but
know.
but lately, I mean, you're doing enough of stuff that's actually like valuable now. Like, you can go into places and I mean, seriously, basically, you know, the painting and electrical and general maintenance stuff.
Yeah,
that
but
you've
I
been
didn't go
doing.
apply for a job. I'm doing that because someone else knows that I can do those things and is having me do them because of that, because they've seen it in action. I
Oh.
didn't ask for it. It was like a recognized thing because I was practicing it enough for someone to notice it. If you get where I'm going here.
Yeah,
too.
well, it's the same. That's the same as anything. That's how anything successful starts. You know, so just be useful to someone, and eventually it'll grow into something. But
Well, you know, not only be useful for someone, but be useful for yourself. Also, like, you gotta kind of go get it if you want it enough. Like, and the challenge is how do you get it? And then that's what you end up doing in your efforts to get it.
yeah, you know, and that's important. That's valuable to do. I almost feel like I've given up on trying to satisfy myself and I'm just trying to get through every day, trying to disappoint as few other people as possible.
Well, why do you feel like you're disappointing? Is that an all of a sudden thing that like, oh, I just realized I'm disappointing everyone, or is that like some kind of feeling you've had for a while that it came to?
No, no, it's for a while. I feel like I've let a lot of people down. People that wanted to see me accomplish certain things creatively, and I just haven't been able to pull it off. And I've disappointed myself more than anyone, as far as that's concerned. And I mean, I really, I wouldn't count on me to finish a lot of that stuff. You know?
Well, I don't know. How would you deal with that then? Like, if you wanted to not be bothered by such things, what would you do about it?
I don't know. I can hardly remember what you just said. To not be, what?
Well, I mean, you're here today, so
Yeah.
that's doing. Like,
Yeah, 15 minutes late, and thank you for
I mean, it's the real world. I mean,
getting here.
I would have been 15 minutes late. I was probably 5 minutes late when I got here. And then I noticed you had texted me when I looked at my phone about.
That's fine.
But
That's fine. The stakes are relatively low with this, and even at this, I feel like I'm wasting people's time by not having anything prepared, by not doing the work required to do this thing well. I'm wasting everyone's time.
well, why don't you do it with somebody that it's not all on you to come up with it. I mean, but yet you can do your thing just as easily by being there. I mean, if it's a forum, if you got a theme for your show, you just talk. I mean, you really don't even, unless you're doing a radio drama, zombies and UFOs and things and such. But I mean, if it's a format radio, I mean, you could talk about things, you could present things. I guess you'd have to come up with something and get a guest and do all that. But it's the kind of thing, if you're in here doing it and you take it seriously enough, you're going to end up doing all that stuff to keep it going because you want to make it.
Yep.
You're
And
taking it seriously enough to do
And
that.
I should take it seriously. That's.
I don't know. Do you take things seriously, or I mean, do you feel like you do, or do you feel like things are a serious matter, or is that
very
part of your
little, very
compounding thing that things are serious, but you're not doing anything? Like, where's it at for that?
I don't know if I'm taking things too seriously or I'm not taking things seriously enough.
I don't know. Maybe it's a conflict of what's taken seriously and what isn't versus whether it's serious or not. Taking something too seriously that's not serious at all and not taking seriously the serious stuff. I guess that's what priorities would be. Well, no, not exactly, but what you take seriously. Like sometimes I don't take things seriously, and then I go to jail. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a pretty serious thing. So other times I take things too seriously, and it doesn't matter. Such as counting pennies for intrinsic copper value. When I got baskets full of wire, I could take to the scrapyard at any day. You know, that kind of thing.
I don't know. As long as you're interested in what you're doing, there's a value in it.
Well, what are you interested in? What are your interests? What are you interested in? I would think you're interested in.
Not much. I can remember being passionate about stuff, and I look back and I remember that, and I'm like, why? Why was this interesting to me? Why was that interesting to me? and nothing's replaced it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could relate in some sense. Like, I kind of haven't really been screwing with Subarus and cars. Like, I kind of don't give a fuck about them other than the ones that I have, and I'm not interested in getting another project car, finding a cleaner model year and swapping in the motor out of the one I'm driving and selling it with the leftovers. Like, I could do that. I could, but it's like I'm not interested in doing it because.
So, like, you've done it. You've explored that, and
Well,
like,
I've done it enough that I got tired of it, or like it was like, why am I trying to do all of this? You know, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's some things I've gotten into that like now it's like those things don't matter as much. And, you know, I sold out all of my mini bikes and project stuff, so it's like I got the one car I built, I'm keeping it. I got a motorcycle that runs, I'm keeping it. I got a scooter that goes. I mean, I traded my way around and got those things, but I've settled on that and like all the other stuff to do away with because then I don't have to worry about it. And then I can only worry about the things that are immediately doing something for me and then switch up in and out of things as they come, and keeping it slim like that.
I don't know. I'm happy with how the rental property stuff is going. I'm nervous about not having enough money to make this stuff happen faster,
Yeah.
and I'm really kind of selling myself short by not developing the skill set required to do a lot of this stuff myself, and instead farming it out to you guys.
Well, all you gotta do is show up, and you're there, and I mean, that's how you're gonna know how to do it. If you're there to experience the work, then you know what the work is.
Yeah.
That's basically.
I know, and it's good to see you.
And it's not-
It's good to see you working and working well.
And it's not so much the skill of what you're doing, but it's the pattern of how things get done. So
And just a comfort with working and an understanding of the value of work, and that's good. I'm glad that I'm glad you're experiencing that.
well, would you be glad to experience that yourself? I mean, are you experiencing that? Have you experienced that? Like you're gonna say that's good for me, but you act like you're not interested in it yourself, or
I wish I was. I
haven't
really do.
tried it,
It's
or-
worth doing. I'm not.
I don't know. What are your goals sets? I mean, what are you striving for? Like, what are you trying to accomplish, and what are you like?
I don't even know anymore.
Where are you
know,
trying
I
to
don't
go with
really-
stuff? Like, ultimately, what?
I just want to get all this stuff running to a point where I really don't have to worry about an income on a daily basis. You know,
Yeah.
that's really just what I want. A lot of my grander dreams have died, and I just really want enough to live on and not have to worry about what I'm living on.
Well, what was this grander dream of yours? Living in a desert in a Boeing 747 with the junkyard in the backyard.
That would have been cool. Actually, that would have been cool. But just, it's, I just don't see myself having the wherewithal and presence of mind to be the type of success that I always figured I would be. You know, in terms of not just surviving, but like actually thriving and making things happen in whatever field I'm in. And innovating, coming up with new ideas, leading.
I think it's still there. Like, I mean, you got a lot of things.
I don't feel it. I don't feel like it's there.
Well, I feel it a little bit, but like,
You're doing better than I am.
It hasn't-
You're doing better than I am on a lot of things right now, and that's amazing to me. And I'm glad. I'm glad at least one of us is.
well, I mean, you got you own properties that make money. Like, that's what I would be trying to get. Like, you've got that.
Oh, the way you're going right now, the kind of money you're making, the stuff you're getting into. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll be where I am in not a terrific amount of time, a couple of years.
Maybe in a year. Well, the grandparent, the baby's grandparents, in-laws are trying to buy the house on the block.
Yeah,
And
counting them in on this, yeah, you guys are doing fine. You'll do great.
all right, it's the top of the hour, and we are due for the next episode coming up. But
Yep,
until next
people
time,
coming in here. All right, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not that cheerful to talk to you today.
Well, no, I mean we recapped from the last episode, and the next episode we're going to talk about
Sure.
The enterprise of owning properties in River West, and
Which is worth talking about. And there's stuff worth doing. People listening out there, keep doing what you're doing. Life is good. Enjoy yours. Try to, that's good. Keep doing what you're doing.
all right. Are we doing Sunday?
Yeah, we'll do Sunday.
We'll do Sunday and do whatever comes, and then we'll be back on board. Until the next time, Justin.tv/Economy Superstar, YouTube channel Economy Superstar, and Miles Fox, RiverWestRadio.com. Thank you.
Let me just.
Touchscreen.